This is the late evening of Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. In my previous videos, I promised that I'm going to analyze the report that Randy Moore submitted to Donald J. Trump about the issue of Christian persecution in Nigeria. 2 days ago, he posted that he officially, because November last year, he said that in the month of February, that he will be submitting the report officially to Donald J. Trump. Why is he doing this? They were saddled with the responsibility of going to Nigeria to really investigate and find out what is actually going on. After Donald J. Trump made the famous statement that he's going to go into Nigeria guns blazing to wipe away the Islamic militants who are killing the cherished Christians, according to him. So, ever since then, we have seen a lot of movement, delegations. Randy Moore with his team actually came to Nigeria. They visited one of the IDP camp in Benue State. I think that is the only state they visited, the IDPs, where they saw over 600,000 Christians in the IDP camp. So, ever since then, many things have been ongoing and so on and so forth. I read through this report, and I think that there are so many things that are confidential that might not be presented in this report, like the issue of the terror sponsors and so on and so forth. So they really go through so many angles, like touching the issue of Fulanis. So let me just be fast and go through it. And where I want to deliberate mostly among these points, that is the recommendations they gave Trump, that this is what he should do. So what I'm going to touch light very well is about the repealing of the Sharia law and blasphemy law. And that is the controversial issues here, because a lot of people have been mixed reactions. We get to that, okay? We'll get to that so that you will understand what actually people are thinking about the issue of Sharia law, because that is what is going to actually shake Nigeria. And US understands what is going on globally. They really understand the problem we are having in the whole world. This is not even, a Nigerian issue. It's a global issue. So because of that, I believe that they have something to do. So let us look at this before I go into the details of what Randy Moore said. This is from Omar Sandisu. These were comments, how people were, reacting to what, was published about this report from Randy Moore, that US is demanding the repeal of Sharia law and blasphemy law in a secular state. That is not a hard thing that US is demanding. But I know that these people will never agree on this. And that is where the problem lies. That is where the division comes. So if you want Sharia law, then you've got to leave Nigeria. So that is where US stands at this moment. Like from Omar Sandisu, he is saying that the Sharia legal system in Nigeria has come to stay forever. Even though the leaders who implemented the Sharia are not serious, they don't abide by it, but still a movement forward, okay, to the sources. And we hope one day someone will implement it 100%. That is the whole Nigeria. And even our Christian brothers, we appreciate and enjoy this gesture. So this has come to verify and approve what former senator and former governor of Zamfara State, right? Mr. What is the name? The man that brought Sharia to Nigeria, the man that fought for it. Okay, so he said that it is the ambition of every Muslim in Nigeria to make Nigeria a Sharia state. Do you understand? So it is the ambition. There is no two ways about it. And the US, figure out that yes, it is because of the issue of Sharia that is making all these Boko Haram to come out, because these are just soldiers, according to Shegumi. These people are soldiers. It is their soldiers. They are their people. You can't just kill them. You can't just remove them. So, both the ideology that is driving this Boko Haram, it is the same ideology that is driving so many people in government houses. So, don't look at people in Agbada and suit in government houses and you think that they are different from the people inside the bush. Okay? Now, he is saying that even our Christian brothers and sisters will appreciate and enjoy the gesture. So they are just trying to tell you that this is what everybody will be under. And they are working towards it. Be sleeping. But thank God that another nation, they are rising up against this. And I'm telling you, I appreciate every activist in Nigeria. I appreciate everyone what they are doing. But you see what? Where everybody is making mistake is the issue of Islamization of Nigeria. They want to be politically correct because maybe they have political ambition. Maybe they have this, they just want to be politically correct. Oh, we have passed the time of being politically correct. Not in a country where others came from Aso Rock to ask the soldiers to leave before they abduct children with a helicopter painted green, white, and green up. And you want to be politically correct. That what is going on is not this, there is no agenda. Are you foolish? In a country where children were kidnapped, a national security advisor said children in detention camp are doing fine. And AFP just published the intelligence that Nigeria paid the Boko Haram $2 billion, 2 billion naira, that is $2 million, for them to be released. Like, what is wrong with us? Like, what is actually wrong with us? We want to be politically correct so that people will not offend some section. No. Anybody that wants to be offended should be offended. People are dying. People are homeless. Blood is flowing in Nigeria. And we should speak the truth about it. Now, Garazani Osman Sani is saying, blasphemy laws will never be repealed. It is divine law, which is not subject to amendment, repeal, or alteration. See, go clear for no eye. Many Nigerians who do not understand what Sharia law, you know, Ahmed Sani Yerima, okay, the man who brought Sharia, when he was in the Senate, he was telling the Nigerian Senate, listen, Nigerian constitution, Nigerian law doesn't have any right to amend Sharia law. Nobody can alter Sharia law. It stands like that. Blasphemy law stands like that. And these are contrary to the Nigerian constitution. These are contrary to the Nigerian constitution. Boko Haram, what do you want? They say they want a Sharia country. ISWAP, what do you want? A Sharia country. Lakurawa, what do you want? They invited us to teach Sharia. Nigeria invited us to teach Sharia. And they said they are not doing it, fast. So we have to start kindling. We have to start, bringing this Sharia with full force. Nigeria invited the terrorists. And the terrorists, what they invited them for, they did not do it again. The terrorists are carrying arms. Fanana also told us, I still have the video. He said that Andimodu Sheriff, a governor of Borno State, appointed Boko Haram. After appointing Boko Haram into his cabinet as a commissioner of religious affairs for the implementation of Sharia, the Boko Haram leader came to executive meeting and they were talking about contrast. That was where they said, no, these people are not serious about Sharia. Let us go and fight and bring Sharia to Nigeria. So we are just deceiving ourselves that Nigeria will be one. Stay with me in this video. Okay, now, let me just leave about the comments of people onward. Let me go back to the details of the report that was submitted to the United States. All right, I will do that fast, okay? This is the title, Ending the Persecution of Christians in Nigeria. The United States Congress commends President Trump for his decisive action to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, to hold perpetrators of violence to account and compel the government of Nigeria to protect the vulnerable communities and end religious persecutions. The president called on Congress Rendemore, Chairman Tom Cole, and the House Appropriation Committee to investigate and produce a report on the prosecution and slaughter of Nigerian Christians. To examine the facts, Appropriations Vice Chair Mario Diaz-Balart hosted an investigative roundtable and led a congressional delegation to Nigeria, and House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Brian Mast and Africa Subcommittee Chairman Chris Smith held a hearing to gather evidence from government and civil society witnesses. The close collaboration culminated in the following recommendation. So this is the findings. This is what was discovered. After decades of persecution, Nigeria is the deadliest place in the world to be a Christian. Christians are subject to ongoing violence attacks from well-armed Fulani militia and terrorist group, resulting in the death and murder of tens of thousands of Christians, including pastors and priests, the destruction of thousands of churches and schools, as well as kidnappings. Blasphemy laws in Nigeria's northern states are used to silence speech and dissent, target Christians and minorities, and justify so-called conviction without due process. President Trump's bold action and attention from Congress has created a once-in-a-generation opportunity for real change to address this 2 decades-long crisis, although the government of Nigeria is a key partner for the United States. Now, let me just go straight to the recommendation. That is where we are going to look into now. Recommendation. strike a bilateral agreement between the United States and the Nigerian government to protect vulnerable Christian communities from violent prosecution and eliminate jihadist terror activities in the region. Further economic cooperation and counter adversaries in the region, including the Chinese Communist Party and Russian Federation. Such an agreement should include commitments by the government of Nigeria to co-fund donor-supported humanitarian assistance, including through faith-based organizations, and to prioritize undeserved communities of internally displaced organizations, and to prioritize undeserved communities of internally displaced persons, IDPs, and their host communities, especially in the predominantly Christian Middle Belt regions. 2. Support and respond to early warning mechanism to prevent attacks and kidnappings, including by deploying sufficient and capable security forces to the Middle Belt to enable rapid and effective response and hold those who ignore the warnings accountable. 3. Remove Fulani militia from confiscated productive farmland and enable the voluntary return of displaced communities to their homes, including by ensuring security and infrastructure, thereby reducing the need for humanitarian aid and generating economic development through the increased agricultural productivity. Then let us go to the next one. It says, continue and expand security cooperation with the United States, including by divestment of Russia military equipment for American military equipment through sales and financing. Now, technical support to the Nigerian government to reduce and then eliminate violence from armed Fulani militia, including by developing and demobilization, disarmament, and reintegration program to address illicit weapons and support safer communities, while allowing farmers to engage in legitimate self-defense. That is about let the farmers be able to buy gun and have it by themselves to protect themselves. Now, supporting the new Ministry of Livestock, ranching plans, and meaningful land reforms efforts, and enhancing the recruitment, technical capabilities, and willingness of the security forces and the military to prevent and respond to violence attack. Comprehensive counter-terrorism cooperation. Let me summarize there. Then now let me go to implementation straight, okay, to avoid waste of time. Implement the National Security Department of State and Related Programs Appropriation Act. Number 1 there under this is increase accountability by requiring proof of a progress before obligating additional funds. Programs to address religious freedom, atrocities response, legal reforms, and so on and so forth. 3rd, there is Treasury Department programs and activities to strengthen the integrity of Nigeria. Okay, let me go to the next, just summarizing it. U.S. Development Finance Corporation Investment in Nigeria, GAO audit report on the effectiveness of aid to Nigeria and recommendations for strengthened oversight. Now, invoke and publicly announce the CPC presidential directives to name and shame the perpetrators of violence. This is going to be, a very long-standing one. To invoke and publicly announce the country of particular concerned presidential directives to name and shame perpetrators of violence. It's not going to be funny, okay? Implement sanctions on groups and individuals who participate in or tolerate violence against Christians. Another one there is continue visa restriction to the perpetrators involved in Christian violence and violations of religious freedom, of which they have done before. Now, this one is demand the repeal of Sharia codes and criminal anti-blasphemy laws. Okay. Now, this is a very, very dangerous one. That is what I'm going to explain at the end. Review and use point of leverage to compare Fulani herdsmen to disarm, including by blocking export of beef and other cattle-related products to countries like Ivory Coast, Ghana, South Africa, and Senegal. Ensure adequate staffing of diplomatic posts in Nigeria. Improve the foreign ministry sales process to expedite the procurement and the delivery of defense articles and services necessary to support shared security priorities. Require a national intelligence estimate on Nigerian sectarian and communal violence. And the last one there in the summary is the enlist and support of international partners, including France, Hungary, and the United Kingdom. So these are the recommendations. So let us talk about the issue of a repealing of Sharia codes and the blasphemy law. So this issue have been on time without it has been on, let me say, for over 20 years now. Yeah, getting to 20 years. The issue of Sharia have been hitting people who are not Muslims hard in Nigeria. And I think it is time for us to come and think about this and say, if you want Sharia law, be in a Sharia country. If you want a Sharia law, be in a Sharia country. Why am I saying this? Not because there is this thing that, oh, because Okocha don't like Sharia, that is why he's saying this. No. Do you know how many people who are not Muslims that have died because of Sharia? Why do you use the law against them? Why is Boko Haram leveraging on Sharia? Why are these terrorists leveraging on Sharia to commit the atrocities that they are committing? Why? This is what we are talking about. The Sharia law, among everything United States have said here, for me, other ones, they are just joking. As far as I'm concerned, you see, other ones, they are joking because, you know, they may name the people who are sponsoring it. The thing may just last for 2 years. But the idea of Sharia, just read out what people are thinking. This idea of Sharia has been inculcated to everybody who are Muslims. This is what Sani Yerima said, that it is the ambition. So I believe that the only thing I see that is important, and that is what the US should focus, is the repealing of Sharia law. So if they refuse, they will bring it to National Assembly. Fear will not even let Akpabio to talk. The North will not agree. Then you have a law that the terrorists are using to kill people. What kind of law is that? You take this law, take it, confine yourself to a place and practice it. And they will say, it's only northern states now. It's only northern states. These northern states, they were not Sharia state before. You made it a Sharia state. The invasion of Fulanese, right from the time of almost 100 years ago, they have been, pushing this. It's not like this. The reason why I am warning Nigeria is because I read the history of Egypt, Jordan, Turkey. To mention but few, Afghanistan, you saw these countries, they were never a Muslim country. Iran, these countries, they were never a Muslim countries. Go and ask question, what happened to these countries? If you can understand what happened to this country, fear your life. Because you are going to be, your generation, if God did not stop it, if you did not stop it, if the world did not stop it, if we did not stop this thing together, they will erase it. Ethnic cleansing will happen. What happened to the Christians in Iraq? Where are they? They did not convert them. They were cleansed. That is what is called ethnic or religious cleansing. They will kill you, clean you out, chase you. You will run away. If you come back, they kill you. That is ethnic cleansing. It has been going on. Who would have thought that Egypt was a pure Christian nation? Egypt, that don't allow people to make video calls, that put different restrictions. Though Egypt today now, they are still against so many organizations of Muslim, like Islam, what is it called? Muslim Brotherhood. Egypt is against them now. So, this thing is not funny. Jordan welcomes these people. After some years, they conquer Jordan. United Kingdom welcomes them. They are about to conquer United Kingdom. Look at what they are saying in US, that it's a matter of time they are going to conquer US. Be careful when you come out and people will do you like this. That is the sign of ISIS, the sign of Hamas. You know what that means? Only one authority under Allah. Nothing like different religion, nothing like Christian, Jews. Just one God, one authority. Every other thing, either you agree or you'll be eliminated. That is just it. It is a choice. So, US, they are not Nigerians. They are not part of us. This is a global powers concern. We must do our own duty. We must support them. I am going to tell you, no matter who is saying that they don't want US, they don't want this, they don't want that, you see, Nobody is talking about the issue of Sharia law because fear will not let anybody to talk about it. Why do we have this law in operational level, not on marriage level or on a customary level? They have courts. The other day in Abuja, Sharia court locked an Igbo man's store and seen it, a Sharia court. You know, the more you look, the more you see about Nigeria. But what I'm telling people is that we should support this good move by the United States. Yes, we should support especially the repeal of Sharia law. I personally knows that these people are not going to agree. They won't. Sharia law was not in Nigeria before. So from Sharia crisis, a lot of things have been going on. So I believe that the US, if this is what they are going to do, they are far from the solution. But I agree with the issue of, it is the issue of repealing of Sharia law and blasphemy law. I agree with them on that. But if this is just what they want to do, I believe they knows what they are doing. But if this is just what they want to do, they are far from the solution. Because solution is one. These two ideologies cannot stay together. In US, you people are deporting these people. Deporting everybody. Because you are feeling that US is unsafe. Not just because of minor, this because of change of culture, change of value system. UK is crying. Many countries are crying. This is not about hating anybody, but this is about the truth. These people don't hide it. What they are saying, I have so many friends who are Muslims, okay? I have so many friends. These friends, I was able to keep them because they are direct, they don't hide it, and you know me, I don't hide things. So I tell them the way I know, the way I think, I know that things are supposed to go in this way. And they themselves say that, and let me just, it's a dogma. So they believe something they can't question. They believe something that you don't have to question it, you yourself. Don't question this, it's about God. That is a dogma. Okay? When we are doing canon law, it is called a dogma. Some set form of belief that you are not allowed to question it. That is a problem. You can't question it, and if anybody questions it, you kill the person. That is blasphemy. You don't question anything about this. This is a big problem. It's a big problem. And I believe that everybody should practice what they want to practice. That is the essence of nation. That is the essence of nation. People don't think, the essence of nation is that the whole world cannot be a one country because we are not one. The whole world cannot be a one country. As liberal, as free as Europe is, Europe could not be, they couldn't come together as one country. The highest thing they could do is to form a European Union, just like African Union or ECOWAS. You can, if you are a citizen of this country, you can travel to another country. You can do trade together, but everybody have different law. Be confined to your territories to avoid trouble. We use the same currency. That is where they were able to drop it. They mark the line there. Let's be careful. Dividing Nigeria is something that we pay everybody. Yes, dividing Nigeria is something that we pay. Anybody that tells you that the division of Nigeria is not good, the person should make sure he keep himself alive. Like, try to take good care of yourself, because you are going to see that your mentality will change from next 20 years when you see dangers, things that will begin to happen. Mark it somewhere. Anyway, it is what it is. See you on my next video. Let me know what you think about this.